Peace, integrations. This is Niggas Forevers coming to you live. And today's lesson, today's topic is going to be talking about storytelling and beliefs. Okay? Now, like I said, on my original channel, Nigga Keep It Real, YouTube has me on a strike where I cannot upload any videos for a week. So they are in the process of trying to shut my page down because I am bringing forth information that they don't want the public to know. Okay? So like I said, subscribe to my other channel right here. It's called Nigga Keep It Real. Okay? Now, what I want to do is we're going to talk about beliefs and storytelling. Now, the reason I say that is when we look at all of these so-called religions in the world, right? If you are a person who's living in this modern day era and time, within this generation, everybody who is living on the face of this earth right now, the only way we know about things is through storytelling. So when you were born, your parents told you stories about what their parents went through when they was alive in their lifetime, and so forth and so on. So when we read things like with the Egyptian texts, we read things on whether it be the Book of Mormon or whether we read the Vedic scriptures or the Bible or we read a book like Harry Potter, or we're all reading something that someone else wrote, and we are believing in it. You know what I'm saying? That's what belief is. You read something, you process the information in your mind, and you believe it. Okay? But no one was there. That's just like if someone who's an atheist and they try to prove their point coming from how did the creation come about. If an atheist and a person who is a Bible believer are debating against each other, they are trying to they are appealing to the crowd which story or which narrative fits better into this modern day society as about how the creation came about. Because with atheism, they believe in evolution, and they say that everything started with the Big Bang. But how did the atheists get their information? They opened up the book. They opened up a book that was written by a man, collected their ideologies and thoughts, added to it, and then that's how the story of so-called evolution came about and atheism belief system, because no one was there back in time to witness how the creation started. That goes for any religion. Okay? That's just like with a Harry Potter book. You read the Harry Potter book, but you have never met the author. But you reading what the author writes down. That's just like someone who says, they are a Tupac fan or Biggie fan, and they listen to their music. And Tupac and Biggie might have written books before they passed away, right? So a person so happens to come upon Tupac's biography, a book that he's written about his life, but the person has never met Tupac. He's only heard his music and read about his life in books and seen him on TV, but they have never met him in real life in life. Okay? And that's like me saying he never existed. Because in order for you to say that something actually transpired in history, you would have to have been there to actually witness it. You know what I'm saying? So when somebody comes to me and tries to get me to denounce the Bible, I'm coming with facts and proof and evidence to show you, say, look, I can show you that I come from these people who are talked about in the Bible, who you think, who you have been taught to believe are mythological people. But that's just like me saying, if I meet your family members, if I meet you for the first time, and you start telling me about your family members, I can say the same thing. That your people never existed. But you were looking like I'm crazy and say, what you talking about, man? They did exist. I have their pictures. I have their records, their journals, what they went through in life. But I have never read them. And I can denounce that. I can say, no, they didn't. All that stuff you're talking about is made up, man. It's false and phony. So, pretty much, when someone is trying to prove their point in whatever so-called religious text they are reading, they're doing what politicians do and presidential candidates do. They are debating, and they are appealing to the crowd which one has a stronger foundation and which candidate has more votes, who speaks with an elegant, authoritative speech. You're winning it. So when you speak with very elegant speech and you have a strong foundation upon what you've been, what you believe in, that's how you win somebody over. So since I'm a Bible believer, how would I be able to convince someone, or how would I be able to? I'm not gonna say persuade someone, but how would I be able to get somebody to believe in what I believe in? Because like I said before, it's all about belief, and it's all about it's belief and storytelling. I'm being honest and real with you. None of us today in this modern day era time was there back in the ancient days to witness what we are reading in the Bible in all these books. Nobody was there. But we're taking it on belief and faith, because coming from a biblical standpoint, Abraham didn't have any 10 commandments. He was living amongst the Babylonians, the Sumerians. So what laws and traditions and customs was he going by? When you go into the historical account, he went by the laws and codes of Hammurabi. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Okay? So now as Abraham passes on, he has his descendants, his children. Moses comes on the scene. Before Moses gets the 10 commandments, what laws and customs is Moses learning after? He has to go by the laws that's set up in that system. So he's going by the laws of Ma'at, the 42 negative confessions. Right? He has to live by the laws of the land. That's just like here in America. Us Negroes, we have to live by the laws of this land. So that goes back to say that when you talk about keeping the law, this is how you know that nobody can keep the law. How can you keep the law in the land of your captivity, and you have the law, and this is where your church and state comes in at, or your so-called church and government. Because you can't do both. So let's say if someone has a profession and being a person who works in the medical field, who's an ambulance driver, and you know that majority of the time that the ambulance drivers they are on call 24/7. So if the so-called Sabbath is on a Saturday, and you are an ambulance driver, and you are called into work, you know that you have to get up and you have to go save a person's life. Because it's your duty, you are sworn that oath to save a person's life. It's a part of the so-called Hippocratic Oath. That's what all the doctors and nurses have to swear upon when they go into the nurse and into the medical field. But the Hippocratic Oath, then I start with Pythagoras. It goes back to ancient Egypt with Imhotep. He's the father of medicine, a black man. Okay? So now, if Moses is learning all the ways of the Egyptians, he has to go by the law, the 42 laws of Ma'at. So as the Egyptian dynasty is dying out, a new set of laws has been put in place. That's where your biblical laws come in place, the Ten Commandments. So now the Ten Commandments, the biblical commandments, has preceded, has outdone the laws of Hammurabi and the 42 laws of Ma'at. But the laws, the Ten Commandments, is nothing but a condensed version of the 42 laws of Ma'at and the laws of Hammurabi. Okay? Now you don't have to agree with me at all. I take critique, criticism. I have no problem with that. But I'm speaking upon facts that's been documented in history. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying the thing that some of you are afraid to say. Why do you think my original YouTube channel is being hacked? It's being watched. I'm being stalked by predators, vampires, demonic entities. So they don't want real niggas to think for themselves. They want you to have that slave mentality. They want to do the thinking for you. You know? So like I said, whether you read the Bible or Harry Potter book, or you read the Quran, you read the Vedic Hindu scriptures, any book is all written by man. But the Bible is divinely inspired, meaning it was divinely inspired by the Creator. And the reason I say that is because when you look at all of these so-called religious books, religious texts, with the Egyptian texts, the Vedic text, the Quran, if you look in those texts and you have the Bible, out of all those books, which book has prophecies in it that has come to pass, and which one is standing the test of times out of all the books that you read, all the books you have read, that's playing out in the modern day history today? That's why I can only speak for myself and what I believe in. Everybody believes in something. But do you have facts and evidence to prove what you believe in? Can you pick up the book you believe in and go back in history and insert yourself into history through genealogy and say, okay, I can actually pinpoint in history and trace my genealogy back to a specific set of people, a landmass, and a creator. Can you do that? Can you actually say that with confidence? Because people on here they're just yapping off at the mouth. They read the Bible, the Quran, all these texts that was written by men that we have never met in our lifetime, but we believe in what they say. We go off blind faith. Abraham went off faith. When he sacrificed Isaac, he made a sacrifice to the Most High. He went off of faith. When Noah came on the scene, he didn't have any Ten Commandments. The Most High told him to build a boat and say, man, hey nigga, build this boat. If you don't build this boat, I'm going to send a flood upon the earth. If you don't get your ass in this boat, you're going to drown. He didn't have any Ten Commandments. Noah went off faith. Let's get that scripture. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews. Book of Hebrews. Now faith is the substance. Let's get that scripture. King James Version, Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Things not seen. So you're believing in things that you have not seen. That's what you're doing. So I'm taking this scripture and I'm putting it in modern day terms so you can understand. I'm breaking it down for you. So you are putting your faith in the evidence of things that is hoped for. You are hoping for salvation. And you have the evidence, but you have not seen it. But you believe it's coming. You believe that the Messiah is coming back. You put your faith and trust in him, but you had never met him. You have only read about him, but you had never seen him. I'm not lying. With the Quran, you have the Nation of Islam, the Fulani Arabs. The Fulani Arabs predate Muhammad. But it's still written by a man. So when you read these books, these people take these books that was written by other men out of context and use them for their own purpose, to enslave others. Because they don't know the real meaning behind the books that was written by these men. And they take them out of context. So let's use this example. Let's take this book right here, Harry Potter. Let's take the Harry Potter book. So you got Harry Potter books, and let's go to the author. So, you have Harry Potter book. Now this is a lady named J.K. Rowling, right? J.K. Rowling. She's the author of Harry Potter. So she has written books about an imaginary character named Harry Potter who can do magic. So let's just say I purchased this book called Harry Potter by this author, but I have never met her. And I believe the story that she's written to be real. But she tells you in the autobiography that it's fiction, it's not real. But with the Bible is divinely inspired. It says all scripture is divinely inspired. Not just the 66 books of the King James Version Bible, because the King James Version Bible is incomplete. So you have other books that was taken out. You have the Apocrypha. You have the God books of Adam and Eve. You have the Apocalypse of Abraham, the Apocalypse of Moses, all these other books that was taken out that the creator of the universe told men not to tamper with. And they went against his laws, statutes, and commandments. He said, do not add or take away from this book. And they did it. So like I said, these books that we're reading about are stories. They're stories written about people who lived back in ancient times, who were real life people. But we've been trained to believe that it's all mythology. So that would be no better. That would be no different than saying that when you look at the rapper Tupac, you look at Tupac, okay? You look at Tupac, and in your lifetime, we all know that Tupac is a rapper. But I'm quite sure most of us have never met Tupac. Only way we have seen Tupac is on TV and through the music that he has come out with throughout his lifetime. But I can come along and say, Tupac didn't live. But you come along and say, oh yes he did. Why do you know? Oh, I read about him. I read about him and I listened to the music he had. But did you actually meet him? You can say, oh no, I didn't meet him, but I read about him. So what makes you any better than me, a person who believes in the Bible, and I have never met my ancestors who lived before me, what gives you the authority to say, to pick and choose and say, well, you believe that Tupac lived, but you never met him. But when I say that the people of the Bible were actual people, you discredit that and say, no, they didn't live. They were mythological people. I can say the same thing about Tupac. I can say he never lived. And you, on the other hand, you say you read about him, but you never met him. Or let's just go here to atheists. An atheist, he doesn't believe in the Creator. He doesn't believe in anything. Right? Atheism. Let's go to atheism. So the atheism is, in the broad sense, the absence of belief in the existence of deity. So they don't believe in any type of creators, any type of divine intelligence. But what they believe in is evolution. They believe in evolution and they believe in the Big Bang. So how do they know about the Big Bang? Somebody told them. See, they read about it in a book. But they never met the people who came up with the idea of evolution or the Big Bang theory. And they are doing no difference. So instead of this, what they're doing is that they are being double standard. That's called hypocrisy, because when an atheist who don't believe in any deities or any type of creationism, it says the absence of belief, but they are liars, because how can they say they don't believe in any deities, but they believe in evolution? Evolution is the same thing as going off blind faith. So let's look up the word belief. Belief is the state of mind in which a person thinks something to be the case regardless of empirical evidence, to prove that something is the case with factual certainty. So let's look up evolution. They believe in evolution. So how would an atheist be able to convince me to believe in evolution? So evolution is it's a change in characteristics of biological population. So how do they know about biology and organisms and molecules and species and things of that nature, or natural selection? How do they know about natural selection? They didn't know about that until they read it in the book. Or how do they know about physiology? Or the human chart? They didn't know about that until they read it in the book. You're not just born with just certain knowledge. It has to be passed down. It has to be passed down. It has to be told to you. So these atheists are no better. They believe in something, but they're lying to you. They believe in something. But the reason they don't believe in the Bible is because they can't break the Bible down, because it's not written for them. It's written for and by a particular set of people. Niggas wrote the Bible. Negroes wrote the Bible. That's how I'm able to break these things down. Because I know where I come from. I know I have a purpose, and I know who the divine creator is, who the creator is, who is the source of all creation. There can be only one. So what travels faster than the speed of light? A thought. Thought travels faster than the speed of light. So like I said, when you are born, what's the first thing you're told? You're told stories by your parents about what they did in their lifetime, even though you wasn't born, but they tell you about, oh, when I was your age, I did this in school. But how do you know that? How would a child know about your parents, about the parents' lifestyle? Through stories. So when your parents tell you the stories about their life, about their livelihood, and about their parents' livelihood, it's stories that's told. But you're not gonna so that's a form of belief. You believe that the stories that your parents are telling about what they did in their lifetime is a set of beliefs. And what their parents did in their lifetime is a set of beliefs. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it comes down to. It's about beliefs. Do you have a strong foundation and concrete evidence to stand on what you believe in? Can you provide facts and proof? You just can't tell somebody something and not show any documentational evidence. So when we go back, so we read these books, all we're doing is going back in history and reading documents that was written by people that we had never met, and we are picking and choosing or debating. No different than what politicians do or presidential candidates do when they are running for office. No different. It's no different. So don't let these people confuse you. Think for yourself. Use your own brain. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you choose to believe in, that's on you. I'm not going to force your beliefs down you. I'm not going to force my beliefs down your throat. But I'm showing and proving that the book that I'm standing on to be the authentic word of the Most High Creator, Heavenly Father nigger, is it. Because when people talk about star seeds, they talk about reincarnation. They talk about we were always here and things like that. Well, the people that saying these things, how do they know about that? How do they know we are star seeds? How do they know about that we reincarnate? They wasn't born taught that. Somebody told them that. They read in the book. So it's just like if somebody who's a person who believes in reincarnation, and I don't believe in reincarnation, how would that person who believes in reincarnation get to be able to convince me that I have lived many lifetimes? But the only way to be able to convince me is by going to a book. Or if somebody tells you they know how to do astral projection or have out-of-body experiences. How do they know about that? They read it in the book. Or some people say, oh, well, I just do it automatically. But still, if you let's just say that if you are able to perform out-of-body experiences at free will, and you need to be able to convince somebody, well, if you live in a certain area in the world, and let's just say if you live in Indonesia, and you need to get your message across to the world to convince people that out-of-body experiences is real, how would you be able to spread your message? Through writing. You have to write your information down in the book to preserve the words that's going on in your life. And then somebody comes across your work, reads it, accepts it as true faith value of belief and faith because they have never met you. If you're a person who's living in Indonesia and I'm living in America, and I so happen to purchase your book that you read, so happen to purchase your book that you wrote, but I never met you, and you tell me about out-of-body experiences and how to perform them, and I end up being able to accomplish out-of-body experiences. Well, how did I come across that information? I read it in the book. Okay? So when you write things down, you are preserving memories. You are accessing the memories of others who lived before you. That's what you're doing. No different from when you were born and your parents tell you about what they did in their lifetime, what their great parents did in their lifetime. They're telling you stories. Not stories in the sense of lying, but they're telling you their childhood stories, their memories. They're telling you about their childhood memories, or their memories, what they did in their lifetime, or what their parents did in their lifetime. It's all about memory. Memory is a part of your DNA. Let's look up memory. See, that's the thing. Now, I'm not even talking about the Bible today. I'm just talking about ordinary conversation, which you would have with an ordinary conversation with a person. So what is memory? Memory is the faculty of the brain by which information is encoded, stored, and retrieved when needed. So our brain is a computer. It's a computer. So it says that memory is vital to experiences. It is the retention of information over time for the purpose of influencing future action. If we could not remember past events, we could not learn or develop language, relationships, or personal identity. So your brain is a computer, and it stores information. It stores memories. So your brain, so let's look up the word psyche or soul or spirit. Your spirit, your soul is in your mind. It's in your brain. That's why in the Bible, Paul said you have to be renewed in the form of your thinking. So I'm using the Bible that was written over so-called 2,000 years ago, that was written by Paul or Peter, whoever wrote that particular verse. I'm using his memories that was written in the past to confirm my reality in today's time. It's corresponding. I'm bridging the gap. I'm bringing the past to the future. That's why when you watch the movie called Back to the Future, Marty McFly he's coming from the future to the past to reconcile what had got tampered with. No different than the Bible. So we, the future descendants, the modern or so-called future descendants of our ancestors who lived in the past, we're going back in history and reading their writings and retrieving their memories and bringing them up into modern day times and today. And we're pointing out who are these people who had did all these things to them, and can we point them out in today's modern day time in history where they're living in today. And that's what I'm doing. I'm retrieving the memories of my ancestors because I come from them. It's a part of my DNA. DNA is another form of memory. Just look at the word psyche. Let's go to Google. And I want you to take heed to this lesson. And let's look at the word psyche. Psyche is another word for spirit. Psyche. Psyche, the human soul, mind, or spirit. Okay? Psyche. Psyche. Soul or spirit. It comes from the Greek, soul or spirit. So your soul or your spirit is in your mind. It's a part of your memory. You're accessing memories through storytelling. And the storytelling becomes reality. Are you understanding this? Are you overstanding this? Okay, let's look at the word soul. Psyche, soul, spirit is all the same thing. Soul, in many religious, philosophical, and methodological traditions, is the incorporeal essence of a living being. So corporeal is the physical, and the incorporeal is the spiritual. The thing that's not seen. It goes back to Hebrews 11:1. So incorporeal is spiritual. It's something that you have not seen. Somebody told you have a soul or a spirit, but you have not seen it. Incorporeal or incarnate means without physical body, presence, or form. Okay? That's what that is. So incorporeal is an entity that does not need a physical body to live. Or you call it the ether, or black matter, or dark energy. So the creator, our Father Nigger, he transcends time. He's dark energy, dark matter. He does not need a physical body. He can take on physical form, but he doesn't need a physical form to live. Because he transcends time. He has been here since the beginning. He's ancient. There's no limit to what he can do. So that's the thing. A lot of people put him in a box. They limit him. He's limitless. So let's go here, like I said, to Hebrews 11:1. I'm using this passage of scripture that was written in the past, and I'm bringing it up into modern day time era. So I'm using these memories. I'm accessing these memories, and I am using them to fulfill the current day reality. This is prophecy. People don't know what prophecy actually means. So it says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So let's break this down. How can I use this scripture in my current day reality? So people say you have a soul or a spirit, but that's another form of belief. You have never seen your spirit. You have never seen your soul. So what is your soul or spirit? So let's take this passage. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So people say you have a soul or spirit. So a person say, oh, if I have a soul or spirit, where's the evidence? The evidence is, here's the evidence. The evidence is your soul or spirit is, let's go back here. The soul or spirit is, let's go back here. Let's go back. Soul or spirit is your mind, your brain, your memories. That's what your soul is. That's what your soul is. So that's why these other races of people, especially these white European people, they dissect and they put the black man and Negroes under the microscope because they're trying to get inside of their memories. They're trying to access their memories. They're trying to find the blueprint of what makes us tick. And they can't do it. Peace.